All right, everyone, and welcome back to the midweek wrap up for the 22nd of June, 2022. If you're new to this channel, my name is Michael Noss. I'm a chartered market technician and quantitative trader. So, what I do on Wednesdays, midweek, is we just talk about kind of what's happened in the week so far when it comes to crypto, Forex, and just the equity markets. I give some stock ideas of things that I might be watching going into the next day. This is a preview for what I do every single night for Stats Edge Pro. So if you're interested in that, link is in the description below. Also in the description below takes you to all of my trading tools if you're interested in anything you see on the screen. So without further ado, let's just get right into it here. Starting with Bitcoin. So we talked about this during the live stream. I have a live stream every Sunday at 8 Eastern. 7 Eastern, come on by and hang out. And we were chatting about how, we had this breakdown that was going on. I really saw no reason to be bullish from that. I am short from kind of the 27,000 area out most on this flush, of course, but still holding some. Really, this is going to summarize my thinking for the entire crypto market. You'll notice that in crypto quite often, there's different coins that are uncorrelated, and there are some that I'm watching, mostly Mana or Decentraland. But when Bitcoin crashes, it kind of brings down the entire market as a whole. So as long as we are in this kind of harsh downtrend, and there's no reason that I can see to kind of step in front of that, I just think you're best to either look to trade crypto in a shorter term time frame because there's a lot of volatility to take advantage of, or just kind of sidestep it entirely. All right, next, looking at the Canadian dollar. So full disclosure, I am Canadian, and in most things I get paid in is an American. Not that anything I could say could influence a currency. I just like to point that out. But when it comes to the Canadian dollar, basically what I'm looking at is this giant rounded bottom that came up here. So this is USD CAD, so you kind of have to invert this in your mind, where as this moves higher, it means the Canadian dollar is moving lower. So this is the only thing that I find that's of great interest in the Forex space. Massive rounded bottom above this kind of gray line that I have here as resistance. If it can break over that, I think that's super interesting. Also, the anchored VWAP from the, the highest high in the last many years. So a very interesting point here. So I'm watching this. Makes sense with the US dollar being very, very strong, and then oil kind of coming off a bit, that the Canadian dollar might come off a little bit as well. Next, we are looking at the S&P 500. You can see my note here. It's pretty simple. Same with Bitcoin. We are in an obvious downtrend, making lower lows and lower highs. I feel no need to step in the way of that. So, I just keep reminding everyone in the room, this is until proven otherwise, right? This is a bounce in a bear market. Now, if we zoom in a little bit, this was yesterday's candle and this is today's candle. You can see that we had a bullish engulfing candle, which basically just means that the low of the candle before is lower than that candle, right? So we're lower than this candle before, and then we are higher. The high is higher than this candle before. Closed almost above the range. The little sell-off came in really late in the day. Generally speaking, a bullish signal, and if we start to move higher, then this pattern right here might be what's called an island reversal. And an island reversal is essentially just when a market gaps down, trades sideways for a little bit, and then gaps back up, right? Just showing that that gap was kind of immediately rejected by the market with another gap. Again, another potential bullish sign, but we need to keep in mind this overall trend, right? We are in an overall downtrend. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't have these bounces. In fact, we know that the biggest bounces come in bear markets. This was a over 10% bounce, and this was about a 10% bounce, and this was about a 10% bounce. So on the way down, you have these wicked bounces. So if we have another 10% bounce that takes us into this congestion, these are tradable. It's just important to note kind of in the area that you're in total. Looking at some kind of sectors under the hood, XBI, which is our biotech ETF, holding very well against these lows back here that were made in April of 2020. Right there right now, and potentially putting in a double bottom. It's not actually a double bottom until it breaks this level right here, but just an area to watch. Something that's showing some relative strength to the market. Gold miners looking more bearish than most things that I see. We have this big support area down here around, say $30. We had this bear flag that I traded. We got a nice short out of that one there, covered into this support, but now it looks like we're bouncing and then maybe rolling back over again. So if we break this support, 1, 2, 3, fourth time tested, fifth time if you include this one, the more times I always notice that a support or resistance area is tested, the more that likelihood that that's going to break. So, keep that in mind. Last but not least, looking at XME. This is a large level for XME. This is our metals ETF. Just looking to see if we're going to bounce off here. So this is kind of metals as a whole. So gold and steel and all of these different aluminum, different metals. If we're going to get a bounce here, that's great, but we are in a downtrend there as well. Some names that I am watching is SGML. This is a lithium company up here in Canada. It's a new issue, a new IPO in Trade Ideas. And again, if you're interested, link is in the description below. I've built in the Market Explorer this IPO scan that will allow me to look at everything that's kind of existed in the last 2 years, but sorted for stuff that's right near the top of its all-time highs. And this one is right at the top of its all-time highs. So potential breakout here. I'm going to watch this one, mainly looking at it because of relative strength, right? So as we are looking at these stocks, let's keep in mind what the market's been doing. And we are looking for stocks that just haven't really been participating in that. So nice strong move today, kind of declining trend line here. If it gets over that, it's interesting. Another one here is an energy company. I just talked about how oil and energy has been falling down. This one's actually been holding up pretty well. So this is EGY. Also holding these prior highs back here. If we can get above that, that's fantastic. Next up here is LW. They're a food company, I believe. Just a clean area of support here at 70. If we can get above 70, I think that's interesting. And that's it for this particular video. So again, if you're interested in any of the softwares you saw me, or you want to check out Stats Edge Pro, or even the completely free trading course I have on my website, link is in the description below. More videos coming, as the new baby starts to sleep more and more. So pay attention to that on the channel as well. Until I talk to you next, guys, trade safe out there.